and other insurers.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
I'm Rachel Schroman, owner of Schroman Law, and I believe you deserve information. Our firm offers free quarterly estate planning seminars at our office in St. Paul. At these seminars, you can learn the basics of estate planning from an attorney to help you determine which estate planning documents will meet your needs and goals in an efficient and cost-effective manner. You can learn more and register at our website, schromenlaw.com/events. That's SCHROMEN law.com/events.
Registration is open for the Community Connections Conference on February 8th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. It's a free, fun way to get involved in local decision-making. Join the city of Minneapolis for workshops, resources, music and dance, good food, a scavenger hunt, jobs, internships, and a conversation on community health. RSVP at minneapolismn.gov/CCC. That's minneapolismn.gov/CCC.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go. So making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle winter. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to rudyluthertoyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service schedule to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our local leaders. How do you reward your employees? How do you appreciate your business partners? Thousands of local organizations just like yours count on Minuteman Uptown for promotional products. We craft custom awards and plaques. We print your logo on apparel, office supplies, and thousands of other items. Minuteman Uptown helps you reward employees and stay top of mind with customers and vendors. We print everything. Contact us today at mpuptown.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for some light snow tonight with a low around 22, Thursday sunny with a high near 25, and Friday partly sunny with a high around 21. Discover delicious Szechuan and Mandarin cuisine at the Great Wall Restaurant. Enjoy favorites like Peking duck, mushu pork, and fish fillet and ginger sauce. Find them at 4515 France Avenue South or call 952-927-4439 for takeout and visit greatwallrestaurant.us for more.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Cody Cup, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. And this portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Cool. We're having, looks like a little trouble here on Facebook, sending out our Elon Musk is on to us, or
yeah, somebody.
Facebook's
always changing that meta. Not fun.
Yeah. So we only got a few people watching us right now. Hey, I just got a message too. I was on KARE 11 here in the local news. I had only a few things to say, and during the 50 I don't know, what was it called? The protest at 50 states and 50 capitals. And I was there and I saw quite a few natives there, but there was 2,000 to 3,000 people at the Capitol. And I just gave them that no one is illegal because on stolen land. And I wish I made that up, but that was a good one to bring up, Haley.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people attended this one, which was great. I know there was quite a bit
concern going on over the legitness of it and who was sponsoring and organizing it. But, as always, be cautious about attending any protest, any rally. And it looks like this was a great turnout across the whole country at all 50 capitals today. So far, everything that I've been seeing has remained peaceful.
Yeah, you do have to be careful. You're absolutely right. And I want to give a shout out to our listeners that emailed us and messaged us to be careful. And so those were good words, and I'm glad you're listening, and I'm glad you care about us, about keeping us safe. One of the things, Haley, I just want to mention too, that it may be part of the reason why this was on Read It and nowhere else really, and being shared out from Read It, was that there was no politician speaking.
Yeah. That's something I saw a lot of people wondering too. Should we invite politicians? Are politicians expected to be here? Yeah, I haven't really seen a lot of that either. I didn't really see news media outlets talking about it until late last night. I know Fox 9, a local news company here, talked about covering it last night, but that was pretty much all I've seen.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. I just want to say this before I forget, and this is kind of off subject, Haley, is that I saw KSTP here in which is owned by Hubbard Broadcasting, which a lot of times can be very right-wingish when it comes to their news. They did a poll about what's happening with the legislature here in Minnesota, and the poll, I thought, oh, here we go. They just polling their Republican friends, and the poll was pretty bipartisan, and it was all for the Democrats when it came to what they're doing. The only thing that was probably against them, and I don't know if that's the proper way to put it, one of the polls said that they should not be getting paid if they don't show up to work. And I think people can argue that too. So, but the other ones are very favorable about what they're doing, and that and really down on what the Republicans are trying to do in the legislature. And I know you're friends with Heather Keeler, and we haven't seen her in town other than what she's doing in town. She hasn't been at the Capitol, and we support that here on Native Roots Radio.
Yeah, and it's not like they're not working. It's not like they're sitting at home watching TV on the couch. I mean, they're representing the districts in which they represent, and their work is there and representing the people. So they kind of need to be in the area in those counties or districts to help the people. But I understand, needing to be in location for a job sometimes also. So, but
you'll have to come here then soon.
Yeah.
Over here in St. Paul then.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Well, I think, when they know what they're doing. They're very smart people, and we just, support them.
So sorry about changing subject there, but I just wanted to say that now that we brought it up, but it was really dynamic. Again, I just got messaged by a couple people who saw me on Care 11. So hopefully I can, after the show, find that, or maybe even during the show. You know how I am with my ADHD here.
Oh, yeah, I could probably find it and share it. I know we got a couple things going on this weekend before we bring Arvina on, our Ho-Chunk sister, Arvina Martin. This going on this weekend is the Minneapolis Convention Center event. That's a Minneapolis Community Connections Conference, and it's going on Saturday, February 8th from, I believe, 9 a.m. to 4. So all day at the Convention Center in Minneapolis. Come see Robert and I. Will be vending a booth. I believe our booth number is 1012.
Yeah.
1012. So there's a lot of vendors, a lot of information, and a lot of community partners that'll be there. And
so hopefully there's only 112 vendors and not 10,000. No.
1,000. Yeah, I know what you mean. The numbers thing is a little confusing, but it's a lot. So it'll be fun, and come check us out at the Convention Center this Saturday.
Yeah, and Haley, you're coming up with questions, and we got to figure out what we can give them. Maybe we can bring out some resist hats,
I know.
resist shirts. I'll have to see what the inventory is at the store, but
something fun for people
and then
to
if
come.
it slows down, you're going to show me how to bead my baseball caps. I'm bringing them all, and I'm bringing all my beads.
Hey, little intro beading class. Come see us.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly. But it was a great day at the Capitol, and like you said, there was a lot of things happening, and I was really happy because I got there and there was probably about 200-300 people there, and I ran into the vice president of Ho-Chunk Nation there and her son.
Nice.
And I guess he would be our Daga, Craig Craig, and he was there too. So there was quite a few Ho-Chunks representing at the state capitol. And then it was really cool, Haley. People started rolling in from St. Paul College in the thousands.
Wow.
And we were
Yeah.
marching down the street, which is probably a good, I don't know, 8 blocks away at least from the Capitol. And it was really exciting, and it filled up the stairs and the surrounding area. And then another group came.
Oh, awesome. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone who came out today and braved the cold weather.
Yeah, I had my Facebook Live fingers getting cold, but if you follow me on Facebook, I posted some videos and shared some videos and some pictures. And did you like that picture I sent you?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to describe it? So I think that was from The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
I think that's a show. I don't really.
Yeah, it is. It is the show. And
Well,
this person, she was dressed up accordingly. She had the whole thing going on. So I took a picture and posted that, but also
yeah.
did a selfie that she did not know she was in. So I put half of my head in there, and that's now my profile picture on all my stuff.
Oh, I should have got her name, gave her a shout out.
Yeah. Oh, thinking of which too, I got somebody that listens to the show, ran into a bunch of people that listen to the show. Somebody gave me an orange hat that says "Make racism wrong again," and I said, when the orange one was elected, I saw a hat that said "Make racists afraid again." So
Mhm.
that's another hat that we could probably do. And I've seen a couple shirts too, like "Eat the Rich," and I was like careful to go along with that because I didn't know what they considered rich. So I'm rich in
Oh.
personality, and I don't want to be eaten. So
Yeah, good point.
I didn't join into that chant, but I was up there for a good hour and a half, and there was a lot of people there. Okay, well, we're going to take a break here, Haley, and our friend Arvina Martin, who is our inside scoop here in the state of Wisconsin. And I don't know if State Representative Heather Keeler's listening, but she's one of the best sit-in hosts for us. So we got to definitely, Haley, make it happen when I can't do the show to get them both on.
That'd be fun. I'm down. I know they both are too.
Right on. And down the road here, we're going to try and get Ogama back on. We've been talking about having her come on. She's been very busy, and that'd be fun to get an update on what she's been doing.
Absolutely.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Ho-wah.
Registration is open for the Community Connections Conference on February 8th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. It's a free, fun way to get involved in local decision-making. Join the city of Minneapolis for workshops, resources, music and dance, good food, a scavenger hunt, jobs, internships, and a conversation on community health. RSVP at minneapolismn.gov/CCC. That's minneapolismn.gov/CCC.
A home that needs new everything. Plus the kitchen sink. Life math is complicated. Affinity Plus makes it easier. With great rates on a home equity line of credit, we make tackling home projects less stressful. Visit affinityplus.org/rates to learn more today. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art making, open library hours, and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
Progressive change doesn't just happen. It takes dedication and a lot of hard work. 25 years ago, the Data Bank pioneered a new generation of software tools for progressive organizations here in Minnesota. Since then, thousands of organizations have used the Data Bank to create progressive change. Today, the Data Bank continues to help progressive organizations like AM 950. To have the Data Bank help your organization build capacity and create more change, text CHANGE to 612-540-0500 or go to thedatabank.com. The Data Bank, a quarter century of dedication and hard work for progressive organizations.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio. This is Robert Pilot, and hopefully we are still connected to the mothership there. We're not
I
sure
hope
what
so.
happened.
Yeah, I hope so.
Send some smoke signals, Haley.
Oh, I for sure will. Well, I want to just shout out Native American Community Development Institute and NACD for sponsoring this great segment. And we have Arvina Martin here.
Yeah, let's pretend we're on the air. Hopefully it was just the bumper music that went south on us. But hey, Arvina Martin, welcome. It's a great day today all over the country and here in the Twin Cities. And I saw Madison had people showing up, and really excited to get back my protest jacket on again.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely had a lot of activists and folks come out here in Madison. I was unable to make it because I have to work, but I also know that that's my work is also part of the part of the revolution that we need to do. So I realize that my actual work is kind of in that field. So sometimes if it's okay if I don't make it to the events myself.
Absolutely. And it was during the day, and it was high noon, and people have things to do. So, and it was like, I'd say 2,000 to 3,000 people at the Minnesota State Capitol. So I was really happy and pleasantly surprised, because we had been talking for a few days. Haley and I been reached out by people, listeners, saying to be careful because they weren't sure who was sanctioning this. And I know it was all over Read It, and then it went into all the other things. But we checked it out, and it worked out well. And one of the other interesting thing, Arvina, is that there was no politicians there. It was all grassroots, which was pretty amazing, and really kind of how we feel right now with a lot of the failures of our stopgaps that are happening or not happening.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like on this side we've been kind of caught flat-footed, because while we knew he told us what he was going to do. I mean, he's kind of even gone further. I mean, yesterday with Trump talking about the U.S. taking over Gaza, and everything each thing seems more ridiculous than the last, and coming up with a plan to counterattack that isn't just from the grassroots, and I honestly think the grassroots is the best way to start talking about this and engaging. Sometimes you don't know where they are in the legislative session, whether they have to be at committee hearings and have to continue their work as well. But you're right. Sometimes it's disappointing when we don't see our leaders out in the trenches. But sometimes we have to consider what they're working on as well, because that's part of the movement as well.
Well, and to be fair, at least in Washington too, Arvina, I know when all this went down, the House and Senate nationally was not in session. So they were caught flat-footed probably on purpose. So in Washington, what happened there? So they did pick it up the next day with some judges and lawsuits and things that really helped Indian country, because we get a lot of our funding, and it's a weird situation, Arvina, where when you're a government and there's a lot of grants out there, and you want people to reach out to grants. And now we're getting kind of a wake-up call that maybe grants aren't the way. I don't know. How do you feel about this? It's such an upside-down world right now.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like the elimination of funding, which is on pause currently, although a lot of the places that are supposed to be getting money, like there's a report of Head Starts that are worried about having to close because they have not gotten any of the money that they're owed to continue running their programs. I mean, that's just Head Start. I mean, this affects every aspect of our lives. This affects healthcare policy. This affects housing policy. And long term, I really think that should all these massive cuts go through, we are going to see a serious decline in things like medical research. Folks that have been funded by federal grants, can't work on cancer research or Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. We are going to, our medical progress is going to slow, and that costs lives.
Yeah, definitely. And what I guess too, we want to keep vigilant. We want to keep on top of things. What other things do you think that our listeners should be doing? Because, like, for instance, this 50-50, 50 states and 50 capitals protest kind of came up out of nowhere 2 or 3 days ago. And it was something that, hey, this is something we can do. We need to keep, the media in check too, and I consider ourselves media, of course, but I'm talking about the big media, that's really you know made this like all okay, all these things that are happening all okay, and not really fighting back with real stories, and it really made it okay for Trump to be president.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right on. Um, how often during the campaign did we see Trump doddering around or being ridiculous? But if Kamala wasn't pitch perfect the entire time, she was certainly called out on it. And when it came to like gaffes, or when it came to stumbles in policy, uh everybody just like stop talking about the Trump errors because they're just everywhere all the time. And then that kind of magnified the things that were not as bad for the other side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And one of the funny things too, that again his playbook is the same thing the first time around, is that he makes chaos and then backs down and then says, "Look, I just fixed this." And that's with Mexico and Canada. I mean, they're laughing. They were doing the stuff that he took credit for anyways when it came to putting the tariffs on pause. So here we go again. It's what is he doing? Throwing something against the wall and see what sticks?
I mean, apparently, I mean, I know that for the pause for the Canadians, the only concession they made was to tighten up security measures regarding fentanyl. And apparently the US, like the fentanyl in the US, not a lot of it comes from Canada.
Right.
So that wasn't I mean, obviously getting keeping fentanyl out of the United States is great. But the impact of this particular piece of policy is probably not going to be that big when you look at the whole
Right.
amount coming. And with Mexico, he kind of lost because he agreed to increase border protections in terms of guns.
Yeah.
Because Mexico gets a ton of their guns from the United States. So, while I actually think it's good, to stop guns from being moved all over the place. He kind of lost. He didn't gain anything. He gave more than he got. So, And it sounds like people are thinking that his opportunity with Netanyahu was wasted as well.
Well, we were talking earlier about him wanting to take over Gaza and send everybody, send the Palestinians all over the place. They're not going to stand for that, and they've already said that. So, again, it's chaos, and I appreciate Native Roots Radio and Arvina Martin and Haley Cherry and all our guests that come on and talk sense, and that we're try to be on top of what's going on and letting our listeners know. So this is just a great conversation, and people in Indian country are not taking this lightly, and we know that from our relatives and our friends all across Turtle Island, and we just have to pull together and really keep talking about this stuff and tell our attorney generals to keep those lawsuits coming.
I mean, the state's attorneys general are really going to have to be on the ball and work overtime, because I feel like every executive order is another like layer of hell that needs to be, taken care of. And I mean, to the point where maybe they need to have like a template that says we oppose, the Trump administration, and then they can just fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
There's going to be so many. I mean, he just signed another one today that bans trans folks from participating in sports, which, is like not an issue.
Yeah. Well, again, before we get into another segment with Arvina Martin, who is the CEO and executive director of Emerge Wisconsin and our big friend and Ho-Chunk friend, I want to remind everyone, 202-224-3121. Call this number and follow the prompts and simply say you want must removed. It takes literally 2 minutes, and I'll bring that number up again when we come back. This is Native Roots Radio.
Think your company's safe? Your staff is working from home, right? As I speak, cyber criminals are mounting attacks across the country. Remember, when we're weakest, cyber criminals attack. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. The Rymark team is guiding our clients through these difficult times. In fact, demand has been so high, we created an easy-to-follow guide. It's yours free. Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Do you have a vehicle you no longer need? Are you a little cash strapped? Rudy Luther Toyota will pay you for your used vehicle. It's really simple. Head to rudyluthertoyota.com, answer a few simple questions, and Rudy Luther Toyota will get you an instant offer. Then they will set up an appointment, and after a quick verification, they will handle all the paperwork and coordinate getting you your check. It's that simple. It's a fast way for you to get rid of the vehicle you no longer need, putting money in your hands. For more information, head to rudyluthertoyota.com. That's rudyluthertoyota.com.
Hey, it's Patrick. February is the month for love, so when was the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it deserves? Have you gotten down on your hands and knees and adored how clean and refreshed it was, or are you scared of what you might see or smell? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you are breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again and again. But lucky for you, my friends at Zero Res are going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Your Rug special. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting for just $119 and get a 4th room free. But don't forget Dirt and Dander's favorite hiding place either, your air ducts. This month, take $75 off any air duct cleaning. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward, it smells the same. Zero Res.
You may not think of it, but winter is a great time to take care of those exterior home projects. This is Chad, owner of AM 950 for Snap Construction. Most people wait until the warmer months for their exterior home projects, but labor costs are actually lowest in the winter. And that's true for the contractor I trust, Snap Construction. Arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor and insulation contractor in the metro. Are you noticing ice dams on your house? Or is your furnace constantly running and you're still not comfortable? In addition to your exterior home projects, winter is also a great time to get your insulation checked with a free energy audit from Snap Construction. The average cost to upgrade your insulation is oftentimes less than a new furnace. Plus, there are rebates available from your energy provider when you upgrade your insulation. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. So don't wait for prices to rise in the warmer months. Get a free estimate now by calling 612-333-SNAP, 612-333-SNAP, or go to snapconstruction.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for some light snow tonight with a low around 22, Thursday sunny with a high near 25, and Friday partly sunny with a high around 21. Discover delicious Szechuan and Mandarin cuisine at the Great Wall Restaurant. Enjoy favorites like Peking duck, mushu pork, and fish fillet and ginger sauce. Find them at 4515 France Avenue South or call 952-927-4439 for takeout and visit greatwallrestaurant.us for more.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, we are with our friend Arvina Martin, CEO, Executive Director of Merge Wisconsin, and our lifeline here in Wisconsin. We love, we get an weekly update from the governor, but this is bigger than that. We have Arvina Martin. Welcome, Arvina.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Right on. Hey, I just, I don't know if I sent it to Haley, but I just, during the break, I saw that I am on Care 11, the news. I had a few things to say to the crowd because, you know, I like crowds.
that you're good for press. You can speak and you can speak eloquently as to the situation and what you want to express, and that kind of communication is a really big deal when it comes to activism.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke, but I really appreciate that compliment, really. And it's funny too, being on the air for 9 years, I've been able to put together sentences now and been practicing 5 days a week, an hour a day. Right, Haley?
Oh, absolutely. It's the best practice you could get.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Emerge, because again, we're not Wisconsin especially, but I know Minnesota's coming up on another election cycle, and let's talk about Emerge and how important it is for your organization to reach out and also help.
Yeah. So the Emerge Wisconsin, if you are not familiar, is an organization that recruits and trains Democratic women and non-binary folks who feel comfortable in female-centered spaces to run for office. We've actually had a renewed interest in our program because of the events of the last few weeks, because of the major impacts that the Trump administration is already beginning to wreak havoc on, all of us Americans. And so we are reopening our applications. Our website is wi.emergeamerica.org, and you can find our application on our website. It's very important to me personally, as a Ho-Chunk that we engage more Native women in the political process as well. There's my cat, one of my cats. And our voices are important and our experiences are important. And we need those voices and those experiences in our legislative houses, in the executive branch, our voices are valid, and our experiences that we lived are important. So, they deserve to be heard at the level as everybody else's voices. And people think about campaigns and they think that they know, what they do because they vote. Maybe they pay attention, but a campaign can be a really intricate thing, and you have to be very flexible. You have to be organized or have someone who is organized who can help you with deadlines, help you make sure that you practice for your speeches, etc. So that's what we do at Emerge. We train folks, and we make sure that they have all of the nuts and bolts that they need to put together a campaign that is authentic to them and themselves and to their own candidacy. We don't do cookie cutter candidates. One of our alumna is in the news again as well. Former
Yeah.
Secretary Deb Haaland.
Yes.
Did she actually announce, or did the news just?
Yes, she did.
Oh,
She did announce like a day ago. I was going to just bring that up. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, so she has gone through our political training in New Mexico, and she has been involved politically for a long time. She was also the state chair of the New Mexico Democrats before she was elected to Congress. And I actually got to see her last week at the DNC meeting, and she told me herself about running, and I am just over the moon. If elections in Wisconsin at the same time weren't so contested, I would consider flying down to help knock doors and do some texting or whatever her campaign needs, so we can have the first Native woman governor in the United States. And she would be an Emerge grad. That would be so cool.
I got to get the applause up for that.
Yeah.
Well, we missed out on our lieutenant governor becoming the first governor, but this is great news, and I'm glad you brought that up, because how important is we're finding out too with my other job how important it is that we have boots on the ground and people that are engaged with what's happening, because right now everything's happening in lightning speed.
Absolutely. And we need to pay attention to the sources of information that we are getting information from, whether that's social media, whether that is the TV news, etc. Do people still read magazines? I don't think we get many anymore. but but and finding the balance for yourself as to what is what you can handle. Pay attention to the news when you can. If you need a break, take it, because this fight is going to be a long time. We've got 4 years of this lined up, and so we should prepare and take care of ourselves and take care of each other too, because this is, when you care about something and when the stakes are so high, it is, it can be extra emotional, and you really feel everything. Yeah. And so self-care is going to be really important. And I always like the analogy of the choir, and that when you're singing a really long note, maybe you're out of breath, but the people next to you are still singing. So you can take a breath and then keep singing, and then they can take the breath when they need it. So we need to think like
Wow.
that.
We did that in the Madison Scouts Drum and Bugle Corps too. It's staggering breathing, we called it, but good call, Arvina. Holy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I really like that one. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit again how important it is for you to come on the show. This is our 9th season now on the air, and you've brought in great information to all our listeners, but also that whole aspect that you talked about at the end, and that's keeping care of yourself. And I believe I've heard from our leaders in our nation that you need to take care of yourself. It's like first, because it's like being in a plane, and when the oxygen comes down, you need to put your oxygen mask on first before you help other people.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that I think that society has really warped our sense of, taking care of oneself. It's been a long time that people have been talking about self-care, and y- for a long time, and for a lot of people, it's seen as something additional or extra, rather
Mm.
than something that's mandatory, in order to function as a healthy human being.
Wow, great point. Really good point. And we try to get uncolonized with our thinking too, as Native Americans and the people that I'm going to tell you too. The thing I only when I spoke, and it's funny that the news got it. I didn't listen to it. I just saw the video. But the only thing I said is, no one, no one, no one is illegal on stolen land. This is native land. And that was it. I dropped the mic and walked away. So it's funny that they got me on the news.
I mean, that's a great soundbite, and very apropos, considering Trump wants to do it all again, in the Gaza Strip, and kick everybody
Yeah.
out, and make it the Riviera of the Middle East, is what he said, which is horrifying. And you know, obviously we can relate as Native people to that kind of displacement, for wealthy white landowners to make more money off of our resources. Um,
Right.
uh, it
Right. And
uh,
well, I'm getting the resist shirts out again. We started, as you probably know, Arvina, we started Native Roots Radio because of Standing Rock and all the misinformation and lack of information that was going out there. And we have a resist shirt that we're going to pull out of retirement here. And because I saw a lot of posters that said, well, it said some bad things, but also I saw posters that said resist. And we are the resist experts, or resistance experts, as natives.
absolutely. And I kind of want to bring up something that I had heard from somebody else, is that people are getting to the point where they are deciding what their final, like, what they're willing to do, like, to what point they're willing to go to protect others. Principals saying, I will take being arrested to protect my kids. And if you're doing this kind of work, it's something to consider, to make a decision, to say, I feel comfortable, resisting till this point, until my safety, is threatened. I don't know. I don't know what the lines are for everybody, but thinking about it ahead of time might ease anxiety and tensions, while you are doing your actions. Um, that was kind of a jumbled thought, but one that I thought was so important to think of.
Yeah.
Like, what you're willing to sacrifice for this.
It's really interesting that you say that too, because there was a few people today that talked about that, and one was a school teacher coming there instead of going into school, and willing not to sacrifice too is his students. And I just got to say this. I know we only have a minute left, but the first time around when I was teaching high school, I had an ELL class, which is English learners. And the day that Trump was elected, half the class disappeared and never came back.
That's
And I hope that, but that's a thing that we have to protect. We have to protect our young ones. And again, everyone's illegal. This is stolen land, and the people that are on from this continent not being able to live here is, well, we're used to it, but it is, well, it makes me angry. Arvina Martin, Executive Director of Merge Wisconsin, a big peeny gigi, thank you so much for coming on during these times and the times before and the times that are going to come.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, we'll talk to you hopefully next week, and be caught up again with what's happening in Wisconsin and with the Emerge Wisconsin. A big peeny gigi, thank you so much.
Honey Shuck Joey.
Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back with Bob Blake from Red Lake, the Solar Bear with the Solar News. Ho-wah.
Thinking about college? Consider checking out Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners. How important are business values to you? When you need high-quality digital print, it matters who you work with. You see, Minuteman Uptown is unique. We're one of the only union print shops in Minnesota providing our team with living wages and benefits. We believe in second chances for justice-impacted individuals who want to contribute to the community, and we are active in local issues. We've been in the streets standing up for racial, social, and economic justice. At Minuteman Uptown, our mission is to connect all communities through technology-driven print solutions. An example of that mission is when I moved Minuteman Uptown to North Minneapolis. We're invested in this local community, and we help small businesses and local organizations throughout the Twin Cities reach their audiences. Reach out to Minuteman Uptown and partner with a printer that shares your values. Call us today at 612-870-0777 or visit us at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka, hicha, wecha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, before we get you on, Bob, I just want to say a real big shout out to Dallas Goldtooth. And I want to say just a quick 30-second blurb about Dallas. Dallas is an actor. You've probably seen him on Reservation Dogs. He's a writer. He's a 1491er, but he's also an activist. And I followed him so much before we went out to Standing Rock. He was out at Standing Rock giving a daily update of what was happening. And I know he's fought on the Keystone Pipeline up here in northern Minnesota. I just want to give him a big shout out. He's also been a guest on Native Roots Radio, but he's up on top of this. Follow him on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook. Great post by Dallas Goldtooth. And now I want to bring in Bob Blake, the Solar Bear with the Solar News, and our brother here. During these times, we have to resist. It's good to see you, Bob.
Yeah, Robert. Lots going on. I want to start off with like a really good story. Enterprise Energy just announced today has been awarded 2 community solar projects totaling 11 megawatts here in the state of Minnesota that will provide low and moderate income accessible community solar garden program through the Department of Commerce. So these families will be able to access up to about 2,200 homes, renewable energy for their energy needs in their community. And in partnership with Enterprise Energy, Native Sun Community Power Development has been asked to do the workforce development portion of this project. So we are at Native Sun are extremely proud to be partnered with Enterprise Energy on this endeavor and to provide renewable energy to low and moderate income families in the state of Minnesota. So super excited about that.
Some applause there. Great job. Congratulations, Bob. And I hope people get the vibe, but I know this personally from the work I do that Bob Blake and Solar Bear and Native Sun are nationally renowned solar companies and nonprofit that, like, Bob's all over the country getting awards and speaking our truth for the Native communities and how important it is for us. And I just want to bring that up because I think we always kind of jump into things without really the proper ado that you have. And then at one time he was the best boy or key grip.
I was going to intervene when you were talking about those resist t-shirts that you passed out.
Bob gave out shirts to people we wanted to resist.
I
We
know.
were resisting, and we got to prove it.
Robert left me alone at the table, and I was bamboozled by everyone. And they all wanted t-shirts, and I just couldn't say no.
That was so fun and started us both off in a good way. And I know you've been on Native Roots Radio before that, but that was really powerful. We
had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty
Do that
awesome.
again.
So another thing I think probably the listeners should know is that a lot of the renewable energy and projects are kind of up in the air right now. We received a letter January 28th last week saying that we need to essentially stop what we're doing until further guidance. I'm sure a lot of organizations out there received that same letter. But my opinion on this, Robert, is that with all of the investments that we made towards renewables, manufacturing, electric vehicles, it wouldn't be smart to all of a sudden stop. You know what I mean? Because this is good for the country. So, but at the same time, I'm watching everything coming out of Washington, D.C., and I don't know if what this administration is doing is really good for the country in general. So, in short, this falls in line with the kind of status quo that is basically coming out of this administration. So, to all the listeners out there, a lot of these, not all projects, but the projects that are being funded by the federal government are being asked to stay on hold. Now, Solar Bear and both Native Sun have signed on to different letters that have gone out to Washington, D.C. to ask our politicians, our representatives to reconsider this. And, it's really going to be up to them. But we hope that, that this administration and our representatives, our politicians will continue to fund these renewable energy projects that are specifically in a lot of low to moderate income communities like this one, like these two projects that are going to be serving with Enterprise Energy, that this can essentially be continuing to be funded.
So, Bob, that letter had to do with even grants that were okayed prior to this administration were being put on hold for you? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
That's illegal. That's illegal. And
that's illegal. Yeah, that is correct, Robert. That is illegal. And so all these are.
I have a question too, Bob, about so when we talk, one of the things we have to do is we have to, talk to politicians, but do we need to go out to Washington and talk to Republican politicians?
Well, I think that, that everyone needs to be calling them, needs to be letting them know, how they feel, and to be precise. Everyone, this is not a drill. This is real life. And it's not just going to take care of itself. So we all need to be active Robert, just like every time you have said for the last, I don't know how many years now I've been on the show with you.
Eight of the nine for sure. 8 of the 9 for sure.
Join a movement, like join a Yep. All that, Robert. The things that you say and have been preaching is really important right now because our future, our children's future and grandkids, like it's all on the line right now. And so please contact your senator, your congressperson, and all those that will listen, that will have some influence with currently what's happening.
Yeah. Well, Bob, good to see you, and good to see that you're still resisting, and and you're doing the work that you need to do. We really appreciate you coming on, and hope to see you next week. I just have to go through my little speech here now.
Let's do it. That's the Solar Bear with the Solar News.
Right on. Hey, we need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and vote. We're still here. We are the 7th generation. Go Solar Bear.
Register